Welcome back to the Horror Movie Files. Today's topic will cover an underrated personal favorite, Stung. But before we continue, a word from our sponsors, the Patreon. Geeks and Gnomes has a wide array of content, including written stories, videos, shorts, and digital art. Of course, this includes the SCP Horror Movie Files, which helped start this YouTube channel, but I'd also like to advertise other original projects in development, with my proudest and most developed being Endless Conflict, which I'm sure some of you have seen shorts here on YouTube. Supporting the Patreon is the best way to ensure we'll keep making content here on YouTube and our other social media outlets. Also, as a patron, not only will you never miss out on new content, but any request you make will never be ignored. Additional details on subscription perks will be displayed on our main page, so please be sure to check that out. Link is also in the description. There is also a 7-day free trial in case you change your mind later, so there's no need to worry if it turns out you don't like our content. Now back to the file. This video will contain images and descriptions of mutations, body horror, giant bugs, humans being eaten, and lots of gore and blood. If any of that makes you uncomfortable, then please feel free to click off the video. For those wanting to continue, let's begin with SCP-AFB. SCP-AFB. Codename: Parasitic Chimera Wasps. Object Class: Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Instances of SCP-AFB are contained at Site-AN within a 4x4 meter containment cell on one of the lower floors of the site. On the ceiling of the containment cell is an opening where grounded meat is dumped on a daily basis to allow the instances to feed. Though on a monthly basis, an entire hive worth of bees is to be dumped into the containment cell to allow the instances to regrow their population. Dr. Grass is in charge of breeding the bees that SCP-AFB instances use for parasitic infection. Any testing with SCP-AFB must be approved by at least 2 Level 4 clearance staff members or higher. When testing, only a single SCP-AFB instance should be used, and all instances resulting from infection are to be incinerated after testing has concluded. Foundation drones are required to capture SCP-AFB instances, as regardless of how sophisticated we make our containment procedures, there is still the chance of infection should even the slightest margin of error be made. Infection would naturally lead to a containment breach at Site-AN, which cannot be allowed to happen. In the event a containment breach does happen, the floor SCP-AFB is contained within will be locked down, and all Foundation staff are to be quarantined. AFA-2 units armed with chemical guns, loaded with necrosis venom, will be deployed to the floor, where they will destroy all SCP-AFB instances that escaped, and should they all escape, they are to merely cull the population until it is manageable again. Once SCP-AFB is confirmed to be contained, the AFA-2 units are to also check on Foundation staff for signs of infection. Should they be infected, they are to be killed on site. There will be no exceptions. Description: SCP-AFB are a mutated breed of parasitic wasps bred entirely by accident when an unknown species of parasitic wasps infected a bee while under the influence of unstable chemicals. The end result is an entirely new species of wasp, now with chimeric properties, added onto their own parasitic reproduction. When an SCP-AFB instance stings another organism, the host will be injected with a parasitic egg that will quickly feed and grow inside the host. The newborn SCP-AFB instance will become mature at an accelerated pace, with the longest taking 30 minutes and the shortest amount of time taking only 30 seconds. The newborn will naturally rip out of the host, leading to their mutilation and obvious death. But also the newborn will have similar characteristics of the host, mainly collecting intelligence and size. The most common result of a human being stung by SCP-AFB instances results in a highly intelligent and human-sized SCP-AFB instance, and a dog being stung resulting in a dog-sized but a very aggressive SCP-AFB instance. Despite the obvious resulting DNA alterations from such chimeric parasitic infection, SCP-ABF instances never harm one another, no matter how different they are. Instead, all instances are constantly working together for the sake of finding more food, creating more nesting ground, and finding more hosts to create more SCP-AFB instances. Though testing in DNA research has shown that their parasitic properties are very unstable and mutations unnatural to the species are bound to happen from time to time. The most commonly reported of these unnatural mutations is an SCP-AFB instance that is smaller than the host victim, and instead of killing the victim upon bursting out, they merely take over the host while still attached to them, as a parasitic zombie kind of situation. SCP-AFB was discovered in 2015 when a secret investor in one of the Foundation front companies sounded his VIP investor danger alert. Foundation agents went to that area that night to investigate, but were quickly attacked by human-sized SCP-AFB instances. Unfortunately, a majority of the agents were slaughtered or infected, with a lone survivor escaping and reporting the horrific incident. In response, Mobile Task Force Hades 4 Biorebels was deployed. Originally, Mobile Task Force Hades 6 Wild Hunt was going to be assigned, but considering the possibility of spreading further infection, especially to such athletic and talented MTF units, was a potential hazard and loss the Foundation couldn't afford. The MTF specialist within Hades 4 consisted of Foundation-aligned Sarkites, immune to parasitic infection, allowing them to contain the SCP-AFB instances with minimal risk. However, upon arrival, local cows were already being infected, forcing the Hades 4 units to kill them all as quickly as possible. Though shockingly, at the same time, the mansion where the incident was originally reported blew up, just as the Hades 4 units dealt with all the cows and contained the last of the wandering SCP-AFB instances. MTF Hades 4 reported 2 survivors of the incident, both of which seemed to be responsible for blowing up the mansion and killing all of the SCP-AFB instances the Hades 4 units did not get to. Once it was confirmed the containment of SCP-AFB was complete, the survivors of the incident were offered positions within the Foundation under Protocol Sole Survivor. But naturally, given their traumatized states, they both rejected the offer and were instead given Class B amnestics. The cover story for the incident was that a gas leak at the mansion caused the explosion that killed everyone but the 2 survivors. As a precaution after the incident was settled, AFA-1 units were sent to the rubble of the mansion for the sake of finding any possible survivors, as well as remaining SCP-AFB instances that may have escaped. From the rubble of the mansion, a basement was discovered housing dangerous chemicals related to a pharmaceutical company, originally owned by the man who lived in the mansion with his wife and adult son, all of which are deceased. Testing with the chemicals confirmed that not only were they the cause of the mutations leading to SCP-AFB's existence, but if the right combo was made, they could induce all sorts of mutations on anyone. The most common being developing highly aggressive cancer or developing a violent form of psychosis. For SCP-AFB in particular, it seems that the wasps weren't just exposed to these chemicals, but also the local fertilizer and pesticides used by the family to maintain the garden. The chemicals are now in Foundation custody and tested regularly to see the possible results of exposure to different organisms. It should be highlighted how terrifying this discovery can be, as it proves that civilian science is getting closer to the level of the anomalous world, to the point even a pharmaceutical company can create chemicals that result in something as grotesque as SCP-AFB. It is unknown if the Foundation will be able to keep up with the predicted growth of accidental and intentionally human-made anomalies in the following decades. And that was SCP-AFB. Thank you to everyone for watching this video to the end. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as I'm trying to reach a goal of 200 subscribers. But don't forget to leave a like in the video and comment down below what you thought. As I always say, all criticism is helpful to creators, so please don't hold back on your opinions. Also, please be sure to check the links in the description so you can follow me on my social media outlets to stay up to date with all my content. I've recently started a new wiki page for the SCP horror movie files, which is the best place to find all related content, so please be sure to check that out. Link is also in the description. And finally, a very special thank you to all my patrons who support me in doing what I love. If you want to be like them and have the same perks they do, then please subscribe today and get access to content early, as well as updates on my content you can't find anywhere else. Thank you all again for watching, and hope you'll stick around, as there's always more to come. I don't really have a joke for this one. I just think this movie is worth a watch if you happen to know where to find it.